This is the artist Pablo Picasso. He is best known for his style of cubism in art. However, Picasso was a very versatile artist who continued to experiment with new styles and techniques throughout his whole life, from 1881 to 1973. We are going to be focusing on an artwork called the Bouquet of Peace. His bouquet of peace shows his desire for people to join together in love and harmony. During his later years, Picasso became politically involved and joined in the peace movement, expressing a deep desire for peace and an international understanding and equality. The brightly colored flowers convey a sense of hope and rebirth, and the bouquet forms a bond between the two people that are symbolized by the two hands displayed in this artwork. The simplicity of the forms not only represents Picasso's desire for childlike wonder in his art, but also symbolizes the openness needed to get along with others in peace. The hands in the picture belong to two different people, even though in our project you're going to be using your own hands. Who would you be holding the bouquet of flowers with? What does peace mean to you? And how does friendship help heal the world? We are going to be starting at the bottom of our piece of paper. So you want to find about halfway down, and that's where your hands are going to go. I'm going to use a black sharpie to trace with, but you could use a pencil first or a black marker. I'm going to put my hand with my fingers spread open on the page. If you want to have your hand in a different position, you could try doing that too. I'm going to trace carefully around my fingers. If you need any help doing this, you might find somebody at home who can help you trace around your hand. And then you're going to make sure that the rest of your arm or the wrist touches the edge of your page. Now this other hand you could have separate, or you could have overlapping the first one a little bit. If you overlap, you want to stop and hop over your fingers from before. Then once you're done tracing your second hand, if you have any bumps or lumps that you don't like, that's okay. You could just try and make the line a little bit thicker and fix those up a little bit. If you were working with pencil first, awesome. Then you could just erase and fix it however you would like. It's okay to make mistakes. Then you are going to add some fingernails on your hands. I like to start with a little bump right underneath the tip of the finger, then 2 lines down and close it with a curve. That way your fingernails stay kind of rounded. If you need any extra help, I suggest maybe looking at your own fingernails on your hand and seeing what they look like. When you are all finished drawing your fingernails, then what we are going to do next is we are going to add some wrinkles to our hands. So wherever your knuckles are, your fingers usually have some wrinkles on them. So you can add that amazing detail to about the middle of each of your fingers. Now comes the colorful part. You could use whatever you have at home. Markers, crayons, colored pencils, or maybe even paints. I'm going to use paints for the rest of my project today, but again, you use whatever you have available. I'm going to start with the green paint. And that's how I'm going to make my stems. So you're going to overlap your hands. So again, that means you need to stop and hop so that you don't cover up your fingers. I'm going to make lots of different stems. They can be different lengths, They can go different kinds of directions, but make sure that you have more than just a couple. Remember to stop and hop over your fingers so that you don't go on top of them with your stems. Then what I'm going to do next is I am going to add some leaves. You don't have to add this detail, but I think that it adds some interest and variety to the picture. Once you're finished adding those leaves to your stems, you're going to take a yellow for the centers of your flowers. You want the yellow to go at the tops of each of your stems. I like to make mine either circular or oval shaped. If you want to experiment doing a different type of flower, definitely do that. You are the artist, so you make your own choices. Then we're ready to add maybe a bit of a shadow to our yellow if we're painting. I like to use orange for that. And then we can work on our amazing petals. You can choose whatever colors you want your flowers to be. I suggest that you maybe switch it up a little and use all kinds of different colors for your flower petals. You can make your flower petals longer. You could make them shorter. You could make them rounded. You could make them bumpy. You could make them football shaped. You could make them like little dots. It is up to you. But again, I suggest you experiment with a variety or a lot of different ways to paint your flower petals or to create them. You could even make your own creative choices, like adding fingernail polish, or bracelets, or a watch, or some rings. It is totally up to you because you are the artist, so you make your own choices. I can't wait to see your very own bouquet of peace. I'm sure that it's really bright and colorful, and it will bring lots of joy in the world.